The haunting highway, a road trip to despair. Do you dare to confront your darkest destiny? Buckle up for a chilling ride where the past, present, and future collide on a desolate stretch of highway. Beat-up, dust-covered pickup truck. It's parked in front of a small, run-down rural house. Steve, a man of 35 with a face etched by hardship, carefully loads a worn suitcase into the truck bed. His eyes, though weary, burn with a fierce determination. Steve, narrating, his voice a low, gravelly whisper. To escape the ghosts of yesterday, sometimes you have to burn the bridges behind you. But what if the road ahead is haunted by something far more sinister? He slams the truck bed shut, the sound echoing in the stillness. This isn't just a departure, it's an act of desperation. Steve starts the engine, the rumble cutting through the silence like a death knell. He pulls onto a desolate two-lane highway, the asphalt snaking its way through a claustrophobic forest of dense, shadowy trees. The open road stretches before him, an illusion of freedom masking a path to something far more terrifying. The sun begins its descent, casting long, distorted shadows that dance like specters on the road. Each mile deeper feels like a step further into a nightmare. About an hour into his escape, as twilight paints the sky in hues of blood orange and bruised purple, Steve spots an older man standing by the side of the road, thumb outstretched. The man is cloaked in a tattered, oversized coat and a wide-brimmed, weathered hat that obscures his face. Steve, to himself, a hint of unease creeping into his voice. Everyone's running from something, but some shadows are best left undisturbed. He hesitates, a primal instinct screaming at him to keep driving, but something compels him to stop. Steve pulls over, the gravel crunching ominously beneath the tires. The older man slowly approaches, his movements stiff and unnatural. He gets in, his silence more unsettling than any words could be. His eyes, when they finally meet Steve's, hold a gaze that feels disturbingly familiar, as if peering into the depths of his own soul. Older man, his voice raspy like dry leaves skittering across pavement. Headed far or just running? Steve nods curtly, avoiding eye contact. The truck lurches forward, the silence inside growing thicker, heavier, suffocating. The atmosphere is charged with an unseen energy, a palpable sense of dread. As the hours bleed into one another on the desolate road, a series of bizarre and terrifying occurrences begin to unfold. Fleeting figures flicker in the rearview mirror, vanishing as quickly as they appear. Whispering voices slither from the static of the radio, unintelligible yet undeniably present. Headlights materialize in the distance, only to vanish into the inky blackness, leaving Steve questioning his sanity. Older man, his voice rising in urgency, a desperate plea. You need to turn back. This road, it's a trap. Steve scoffs, trying to maintain a facade of control. A trap? You don't even know me. Older man, his grip tightening on the dashboard, his eyes wide with terror. Don't fool yourself. I know you better than you think. I know what this road does to a man. The older man's warnings grow more frantic, his demeanor shifting from unsettling to downright terrifying. Meanwhile, the ghostly apparitions intensify, blurring the line between reality and nightmare. The road itself seems to twist and contort, leading Steve deeper into a labyrinth of fear. Steve, his nerves frayed and his mind teetering on the edge of madness, finally slams on the brakes, the truck screeching to a halt. He turns to confront the older man, his voice trembling with a mixture of fear and anger. Steve, who are you really? Why do you care what happens to me? The older man hesitates, his face contorted in a mask of anguish. He opens his mouth to speak, then closes it, as if struggling with a terrible secret. Older man, his voice barely a whisper, laced with unspeakable sorrow. I'm you, 20 years from now. I took this road once, seeking escape. It promised freedom, but it delivered only despair. It ended me. Steve stares at him, a bitter laugh escaping his lips. He dismisses the older man's words as the ramblings of a madman, a desperate attempt to derail his journey. But then, a chilling sight pierces the darkness. A shadowy figure materializes in the headlights, standing directly in the middle of the road. It's Steve himself, but distorted, spectral, a ghostly echo of his present self. His face is gaunt, his eyes hollow, a chilling harbinger of the doom that awaits him. The ghostly figure raises a hand, beckoning him forward, a silent invitation to embrace his fate. The air crackles with an unnatural energy, the temperature plummeting as the veil between worlds thins. Steve grips the steering wheel, his knuckles white, his mind reeling in disbelief and terror. The older man screams at him to stop, to turn back, to choose a different path. But the ghostly figure remains, an irresistible force drawing him closer to the abyss. Older man screaming, "Don't do it, you can change your destiny. Turn back before it's too late." The engine revs, a primal roar of defiance against the inevitable. Steve's foot hovers over the accelerator, torn between the desperate pleas of his future self and the seductive pull of the unknown. The screen cuts to black, plunging the audience into darkness. The sound of screeching tires pierces the silence, followed by the sickening crunch of metal and breaking glass. The world is consumed by chaos and destruction. The truck overturned in a muddy ditch. A ghostly Steve stands amidst the debris, his spectral form shimmering in the moonlight. He stares directly at the audience, his voice a chilling whisper that echoes in the darkness. Ghostly Steve, some roads are not meant to be taken. The price of escape is sometimes your very soul. Are you brave enough to face your own haunting highway? If you crave more tales that will send shivers down your spine and keep you up at night, then subscribe to our channel for a constant stream of thrilling short films. Share this video with your fellow thriller enthusiasts and horror aficionados. Comment below and tell us what you thought of Steve's fateful journey and what choices you would have made. Click the notification bell so you never miss a new descent into darkness. Don't just watch, experience the terror. Your next nightmare awaits.